Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, you?
Fine. I was looking at your profile photograph.
Hello, Miss. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine, I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
Hello.
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 How are you? Fine?
Fine.
Great.
Fine,
Great to
thank
hear
you.
that. Wait a second that some more people are joining us. Okay, while we wait for a few people to connect, I was thinking, yes, you know that in 1 month, final exams will begin, right? So there are many people whose cameras are off. I don't know if by choice or your cameras are not working. If you have a problem with your camera, remember that you have to solve that problem for the final exam, okay? During the final exam of this or any other subject, you have to be with the camera on all the time, okay? Camera and audio on all the time. This is very important. So if you have any problems with this, you have a month to find a solution. I don't know, maybe for that day, you have to use someone else's device, someone else's computer. Start thinking about that, okay? Because final exams are stressful. The last thing that you need is extra stress because you're having technical problems, okay? If you never have technical problems and that day something happens, well, that is something like a specific case that will be addressed on that day, okay? But the idea is to try to make sure that that day you have everything working properly, right? So,
Sorry, miss.
yes.
Paula asked me to tell you that she will not speak because her tooth was pulled out, so she can't speak.
Oh, ouch. Well, I hope you get better soon. Yes. Okay, so I will start sharing the screen. We have some sentences to analyze, and there are two questions that someone asked in a message, yes, that I want to answer to all of you, in fact. Just a second here. Someone had these two doubts. The first one is not one, I mean, we will address it today, but in the 7 sentences that we have to analyze, we have no examples. But of the second question, yes, we have examples among today's sentences. The doubts were the following. Someone asked, what is a preposition phrase or prepositional phrase? And what is the complement of that preposition? Let's first try to answer this question. What is a preposition phrase? Prepositional phrase.
A phrase beginning with a preposition.
Fantastic. As simple as that. If you say on the table, about you, through the window, any group of words that begins with a preposition is a prepositional phrase. Okay? Mm-hmm. And what is the complement of that preposition? If I say, for example, through the window.
All that follows the preposition.
Fantastic. So if you have through the window, that is a prepositional phrase. Through is the preposition and it's the head of the phrase, and everything that follows is the complement of that preposition. Okay?
Yes.
Is this explanation clear?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, anyway, in the sentences that I posted today, yes, for next week, there are some cases. So next week we will be talking about this again. Now, The second question is interesting because I don't think that this is only one person's problem. This could be problematic for more than one. It says, I don't understand how to figure out when that preposition phrase happens. Well, the reason for, and when it doesn't, the thing is that this depends. I mean, you can have an indirect object beginning with a preposition, or a lot of adverbial adjuncts can begin with a preposition, okay? You can also have a subject complement that is a prepositional phrase, yes? He is in love with an Italian girl. I don't know. He is in love with that, yes? So there is not one rule. There is not only one case where prepositional phrases can happen. There are many, many different contexts. So this is something that we are going to see. I mean, in every sentence that we analyze, we are going to see different cases. What about when we have to mark a subject complement or the object complement? Because sometimes they can be confused, but we have said something about these. The subject complement gives me information about what element of the sentence.
The subject.
The subject. She became an actress, for example. She became an actress. An actress is giving me information about?
She.
Exactly, that is a subject. Very good. Now, the object complement gives me information about the object. Yes? And remember that the difference between complements and adverbial adjuncts is that complements are essential. So if you say, for example, they painted the house blue. They painted the house blue. What is blue giving me information about?
About the house.
About the
The
house.
house is the object.
Exactly.
The direct object.
They painted the house is the object, and blue is the complement to that object, because the result is that the house is blue. Okay? So sometimes one of the mental tests that you can do is precisely this, to say, okay, they painted the house blue. The house is blue. You can take the direct object and the complement, and you can think of them together in a sentence. Okay? Good. Anyway, today there are two of the sentences that we are going to analyze that have these structures. I don't remember honestly who sent me the email with these doubts, but if the person is here and still has doubts, of course that you can ask. And if you realize later that it's still not clear, you can send me another message, okay? Because sometimes you think you understand it in the moment and then you realize that it's not so clear. So let's begin with the first sentence. Yes, could you call me a porter? Could you call me a porter? What is the first thing that we have to analyze in a sentence?
The verb.
The
The
verb.
verb. Mhm.
Verb.
Yes.
Call.
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 Now, is that verb alone here?
No.
No.
We have
As the
also
modal
could.
verb.
Very good. So this is a verb phrase that is split, as is often the case in interrogative sentences. So in this case, we are going to have, yes, the predicate that is split in half. So the subject is in the middle, okay? This is perfectly normal, okay? In a question, you will always have it like this. So you have the subject, and then could is part of the predicate, and call me a porter is the rest of the predicate, okay? Then we have to analyze. Sorry, I'm experimenting to see what is better, if to use Jamboard or to use the board from Zoom, okay? Sorry. So, now we have to analyze this in a little more detail. What is you? It's a subject, and
The
what else?
subject.
And what else can we say about it?
It's
A
a personal
pronoun.
pronoun.
Very good. Remember to say, even if it's only one word, because it's one word, it's the head. Sorry,
It's a head.
yes, it's the head, and after saying that it's a head, so we say what is the function in the sentence, then we say what kind of word it is. So now, yes, we say that it is a pronoun.
Pronoun.
Okay? Wow, that P is perfect. Look at that. Okay, now, we have to analyze the verb phrase, right? So, what is the main verb? Could or call?
Call.
Call.
Very good. So what is could?
Modal
Auxiliary.
Modal.
Excellent, excellent. We say, first we say that it is an auxiliary,
Mhm.
and then we say that it is a modal verb. Yes? Modal verb. What about call?
Main verb.
Main
Very
verb.
good. The first week, exactly, very good, because the function in the sentence is that of main verb. And now, yes, tell me, what type of verb is it?
The bitransitive verb of complete predication.
Yes, remember that bitransitive verbs are always of complete predication. So you can say it or not, it's not necessary. Just by saying that it's a bitransitive verb, remember that you can say ditransitive or bitransitive, okay? Both terminologies are okay. So it's a bitransitive verb. So if I can identify that it's a bitransitive verb, I can already identify, yes, the other two elements in the sentence.
We have a direct object and an indirect object.
Okay, which is which?
Me,
Me,
it's an indirect.
indirect object, somebody else.
Very good. Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, me is the indirect object because it's the person affected, yes, by the action. And what kind of word is it?
Possessive adjective.
An object pronoun.
Objective pronoun. No.
Yes, very good. It's not a possessive adjective.
Yes. No.
Object pronoun. Very good. It's a pronoun. Fantastic. What about a porter? What is it?
Direct object.
Direct object.
Fantastic. It's a direct object. And then we have, that is the function in the sentence. Now, what is a porter? We cannot say that it's a type of, very good. We cannot say that it's a type of word because it's more than one word. So first we have to say what type of phrase it is. Very good. It's a noun phrase. Why do we say that this is a noun phrase?
Because the head is a noun.
Head is a noun.
Excellent. So porter is the head.
Mhm.
And as you very well said, it is a noun. What about a? What is it?
Determiner.
Determiner.
Pre-modifier.
Pre-modifier, I'm sorry.
Very good, very good. First we say that it's a pre-modifier, and then we say that it's a
Determiner.
very good, a determiner. Very good. Excellent. Yes? Any doubts in this sentence?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Yes? Yes,
Maybe a silly question, but
of course.
when we have, for example, we have could, then the subject, and then call. Could call is not a phrase because they are not together.
Yes, it is a verb phrase. I forgot to write
Okay.
it there. You are right. Yes, it is a verb phrase.
Okay.
Yes,
And
yes,
where-
yes.
So we have to identify the verb, then the subject and the predicate, then the functions of each word, and then if they are a noun, they are phrases or not, and then head, pre-modifier, and not. Because I have to have like an order because if not, I don't know.
The way you described it is perfect. Exactly like that. First, we identify the main verb. Usually, when we identify the main verb, we identify the whole verb phrase because if there is more than one verb, we have to analyze which is the most important one. Once that we have identified that, we identify the subject and the predicate. And after we have analyzed that, we start analyzing first the different functions within the sentence. Okay? Subject, verb, direct object, subject complement, whatever you have. Once we have analyzed the functions inside the sentence, start analyzing the words if they are alone or the phrases if they are, if you have a group of words as a subject or as an object or as a complement. If you have more than one word, it's a phrase. And then once you have identified what type of phrase, you start analyzing the phrase. Again, first the functions of the words in that phrase. What is the head of the phrase? What are pre-modifiers? What are post-modifiers? In the case, for example, of prepositional phrases, you have the head and then you have a complement. And then after that, you identify each word in particular, what type of word it is. Okay? Excellent. Let's move on to the next. This is the problem with using, well, you see, sorry, I'm still learning about this, yes? Now I see that, no, this, undo everything. It will take a little time. Well, while I'm going to use the Jamboard board. Now I see why. Excuse my rudimentary experience in this, yes? Okay, so you can keep the change. What can you tell me?
Keep.
Use subject.
It's a verb phrase.
Okay, so can keep is the verb phrase. Very good.
Yes.
Mhm. And of those, so once we have identified this is the verb phrase.
Yes.
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 Very good. So what is the next step?
The main verb. Keep.
No,
Keep.
no.
The subject.
Subject. You the subject.
Very good. You is the subject, and the rest of it
Predicate.
is the predicate. Be careful, because in the homework that you have for next week, you start having maybe more than one subject and more than one predicate, yes? You see that we are taking things slow so that you can analyze very well and with a lot of confidence a short, simple sentence, so that then when sentences get longer, yes, you don't feel so complicated about it, because it's always the same. You have to identify each main verb with its subject, and that's it. So what's the next step?
The main
The
verb.
main
The
verb.
main verb.
Not necessarily. First we say, okay, subject.
Functions.
Yeah, exactly. So you, in this case, we say that it's the subject. We can say the head,
Head.
and
Personal pronoun.
very good, very good. It's a personal pronoun. Fantastic. Now, yes, can keep the change. Now, yes, tell me, what is, in this verb phrase, what is the head?
Keep.
Keep.
Very good. You say that it's the head, and that head, or that it's the main verb. Okay? Yes, very good. So if this is the main verb, what is this?
Auxiliary. Modal auxiliary.
Very
Anti-carrier.
good. It's a modal auxiliary. Excellent. Very good. And now, yes, we have to say, okay, and what type of verb is the main verb?
Transitive verb.
Verb.
Complete predication.
Fantastic. This is a transitive verb of complete predication. Excellent. So once we have been able to identify the verb, the rest is easy, because if we know that this is a transitive verb of complete predication, there's only one possible function for this.
Yes.
Direct object.
Subject.
Fantastic. This is the direct object. Excellent. What do we do next?
It's a noun phrase.
It's a noun
Noun
phrase.
phrase.
Fantastic. This is a noun phrase. And now?
Changes the head.
And that is a
Is the
premodifier.
pre-modifier.
Pre-modified.
Excellent, excellent. I look for the head, and then I identify the pre-modifier. Excellent. And then change, that is
Is
the
a
head,
noun.
is a
Noun.
noun, and the is a
Determiner.
Determiner.
fantastic. Very good. Any questions in this one?
No.
Question about verb phrases.
Yes?
Can. It does not work as a modifier. There are no modifiers in verb phrases.
No. You have main verbs, and then
Good.
you have auxiliary verbs, and then you have empty carriers.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Well, I continue. I mean, if you have any doubts, stop me, okay? Remember that as I'm sharing the screen, I cannot see all of you. Okay. This is interesting Then we will compare sentences 3 and 5, because in both 3 and 5 we have the same main verb, but here we have a clear example of how we have to analyze the verb in context, because the verb is not always classified in the same way. You have to pay attention to the context, okay? This is something that we had already mentioned, but in these sentences we have a very concrete example. So, first step.
Has grown, main verb.
Has grown is what?
Grown main verb, sorry. Grown main verb.
So,
Right.
Verb phrase.
has grown is the verb phrase. Very good, very good. Now I can identify what?
The subject. The
Subject.
old lady.
The old lady.
Very good. This is the subject, and this is the
Predicate.
predicate. Very good. What do I do next?
Analyze the subject.
Very
The
good.
verb.
We analyze it.
Subject.
Main verb.
Really here, this is the part that is the most optional. If first you want to analyze the subject in detail and then move on to the predicate, I think it's better because it's more organized and you don't forget anything, okay? But if you want to analyze first the predicate and then the subject, it doesn't make any difference in this case, okay? This is the only part in which you can choose the order. So let's analyze the subject. What can we say about the old lady?
Is a noun phrase.
Noun phrase.
Noun phrase.
Very good, it's a noun phrase. What is the head?
Lady.
Lady.
Very good, this is the head. And what are these two things?
Pre-modified.
Modifiers.
Very good. I'm not going to be writing everything, okay? Because then when you watch the video and otherwise it's too untidy. So pre-modifier, head. What do I do next?
The verb. I know.
We haven't finished with the
Type
subject.
of words.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Lady is a noun.
lady is the noun, yes, very good.
Old adjective.
This is an adjective, yes.
And the determiner.
Determiner.
And this is a determiner. Fantastic, fantastic. Now, yes, we have finished with the subject. Now we can move on to the predicate, yes. And in the predicate, yes, the first thing that we have to analyze is the verb phrase, okay? This doesn't mean that, sometimes to be able to identify what type of verb the verb is, you have to analyze what comes afterwards, yes? So you analyze it all together. It's more organized to write first, like to write the analysis of the verb phrase, but to identify what type of verb you have in the sentence, you have to look at the rest of the sentence, of course, okay? So, what do we write here? Up to now, we just said verb phrase.
Grown main verb.
Grown is the main verb or had.
Very good. This is the main verb. And what is have?
Auxiliary
It's
for
an
perfection.
auxiliary
Perfection.
Very good. It's an auxiliary for,
Perfection.
very good, for perfection. Perfection, remember, because of the perfect tenses.
Yes.
And the main verb is what type of verb? Look at the sentence.
Intransitive verb in complete predication.
Predication.
Do you all agree?
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Why? Can you say the old lady, I mean, you could say the old lady has grown.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, but it could be, yes, in a science fiction story. But that would mean something different. It's another meaning of the verb grow. In this case, if you don't write bitter, the meaning is different. So it's the same as saying that the meaning is not complete. Okay?
Yeah.
So yes, this word that is very important here is giving me information about what or who.
Subject.
About the
Very good. This is giving me information about the subject. That's why we can say that this is what?
Subjective
Subjective
complement.
complement.
Very good. So today when we were discussing this, we said the subject complement gives me information about the subject and it is obligatory. I cannot omit it. Yes, sometimes because the sentence would be incorrect, or in this case, if I omit it, I am changing the meaning of the sentence. So I cannot eliminate it. That's why it's a complement. And it's not an object complement, first of all, because I don't have an object. And second, even if I had an object, this is giving me information about the old lady, the subject. Okay, so it's a subject complement. And yes, as you very well said, if we have a subject complement, if we need a subject complement, we are in the presence of an intransitive verb of incomplete predication.
Incomplete. Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Do we have to analyze anything else here?
Yes, the subjective complement.
Very good. What is that?
An
An
adjective.
adjective.
Very good, an adjective. Here we don't have to say anything else. This is not a phrase, so end of story. It's an adjective and that's it. Very good. I can't keep my hands warm. What's the first thing that we have to identify?
The verb.
The verb
Uh-huh.
can't
The
keep.
verb phrase.
Verb
Can't
phrase.
keep.
Keep.
Very good. Can keep is the verb phrase. Very good. Now,
I, subject.
I, subject.
And the rest is
Keep,
the predicate.
predicate.
Very good. Here the subject is very simple. We just have to say that this is the head because we have only one word, and that the head is a
The personal
Pronoun.
subject.
very
pronoun.
good personal pronoun, subject pronoun, both are okay. So what is the next step?
Keep, main verb.
Very good. Keep is the main verb, and
It is a
Can is
Can. modal auxiliary. No, auxiliary modal.
your
Can is an empty carrier and not. It's
excellent, excellent,
negation.
very good, very good. So really can is not a part of the verb phrase. Here you should draw like an arrow here and an arrow here to see that the verb phrase is split. Fantastic. And this, as you said, it's an adverbial adjunct of negation.
Negation.
Okay, adverbial adjunct of negation. Then yes, we say that can is an
modal auxiliary.
modal auxiliary. Fantastic. And something interesting here. I can keep my hands warm. How do you analyze the rest of my hands and warm?
My hands is a direct
Direct
object,
Object.
Yeah.
and warm is an object complement because it's giving you information about the hands.
Do you all agree with this analysis?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Excellent. Remember that the direct object is defined as the thing that is modified or affected by the action, okay? Or the action of the verb. So this is a direct object. Yes, and warm, yes, as you very well explained, is giving me information about this. And again, can I say I can't keep my hands?
No.
No.
Or again, in a science fiction film, this would have a different meaning. Okay, so we can see that warm is a complement because it's obligatory, yes, and it's not a subject complement because it's not giving me information about I. It's not about I, it's about my hands. So it's giving information about the object, therefore it's an object complement. So if we have a direct object and an object complement, what type of verb is this?
Transitive verb.
Of incomplete predication.
Fantastic. Transitive verb because we have an object and it is of incomplete predication because we need a complement.
Yeah.
Again, and if you compare this to sentence 6, you can see that the verb keep does not always behave in the same way. It can be a transitive verb of complete predication or a transitive verb of incomplete predication, depending on how it is used in a sentence. Okay? Very good. So is the analysis complete now?
No,
No.
No.
we have to analyze my hands warm.
Okay. My hands, what is
My
that?
hands are a noun phrase.
No.
Very good. So this is a noun phrase. Hands is the head, that it's a noun. And my is a
Pre-modifier.
modifier. Very good. And below that, we say that my is a,
Pronoun. No, adjective. Possessive adjective.
yes, if this is simple. If you're not sure, you just say determiner and you're safe. Yes?
Okay.
That's why determiner is so helpful. If you want to say it's a determiner, it's a possessive adjective, fantastic. Yes, but if you're not sure, say determiner, okay? And hands is a
Noun.
Noun.
very good. And warm is
Adjective.
Adjective.
very good. It's not an adjectival phrase because we only have one word. So we just write adjective. Okay?
Yes.
Next sentence. He grows tomatoes. Verb?
Grows.
Grows.
Very good. He is the subject. Grows tomatoes is the predicate. Right?
Yes.
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 He is the head.
Yes.
And it is a
Personal pronoun.
Pronoun.
Again, you can just say pronoun if you're not sure, or you can say a subject or personal pronoun. Very good. And then grows is what type of verb?
Main verb.
Main verb.
It's the main verb, excellent, and it's a
Transitive,
Transitive
verb,
verb.
predication.
Complete predication.
fantastic. Transitive verb of complete predication, because in this case, all you have is a direct object,
Direct object.
Mhm.
okay? And that direct object, this was very, very easy. This direct object is a
Noun.
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 brilliant, brilliant. Good. Could you give me a seat?
Could and
Could
keep
and keep
are a verb
are
phrase.
the verb phrase.
Very good. And because I can identify that the verb phrase is split, I can identify that the predicate is also split. Could is part of the predicate that continues with keep me a seat, and you is the subject. Right?
Yes.
Right.
What is the next step?
You is the head noun and it's
Very
a
good.
personal pronoun.
Very good. You is the head, and it is a pronoun. Fantastic. And then?
Keep.
Could.
Could,
I'm sorry.
could keep. That verb phrase. So we have to write here that this is a verb phrase.
Verb.
Right here that this is a verb phrase. Again, if you're writing in pencil, you can make like a little arrow here to show that this continues there, yes? So,
Yeah.
and that could keep. Why
Could
good?
is the main verb is keep.
Very good. This is the main verb, and this is a
Auxiliary verb.
yes,
Auxiliary.
modal auxiliary. You can say that it's a modal auxiliary or it's an auxiliary and it is a modal. You're saying the same thing, okay? So no problems there. Now, could you give me a seat? This is the main verb, but to be able to identify what type of verb, I have to say, okay, what is me and what is a seat?
It's an indirect object, and seat is a direct object.
Okay, so what type of verb is it?
By transitive.
Transitive.
Fantastic. And remember that we do not need to specify because by transitive verbs, yes, are always of complete predication. Very good.
Yes.
So then, yes, we say me is the direct.
Direct.
Very good.
Indirect.
Very good. And we also say that this is very simple. This is what type of word?
A pronoun.
Pronoun.
Object
A
pronoun.
pronoun. Very good. Object pronoun. And a seat is what?
The direct object.
Direct object.
Direct object. Very good. And what is? What?
A noun phrase.
Noun phrase.
A noun phrase.
Determinate phrase where you have seat that is the head
Mm-hmm.
and it is a noun, and a is
The premodifier and a determinant.
very good. It's a premodifier, it's a determiner. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay. And finally, this exercise was done at home. Yes. What do we have to identify first?
The verb.
The verb
The
phrase
verb.
was
The
done.
verb
Was
was
done.
done.
Very
So
good.
we know it's passive.
Excellent, excellent. This is passive voice. So this already, I can already know what type of verb it is. Remember that if you identify that it's a passive sentence, you already know that the main verb is what type of verb.
Transitive.
Very
Verb.
good. Very good, because you cannot have a passive voice of an intransitive verb. Okay,
Yes.
very good. What is the subject and what is the predicate?
This exercise, the subject, was done at home, the predicate.
Yes. Sorry, because I started the class and I forgot. Remember to write your names in the chat? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So this is the subject, this is the predicate. What can we analyze inside the subject?
This exercise is a noun phrase.
Very good. It's a noun phrase. What is the head?
Exercise.
Exercise.
This is the head. And this is
the
A
pre-modifier.
pre-modifier.
this is the pre-modifier, and this pre-modifier is
A demonstrative
determiner.
pronoun.
Or demonstrative.
no.
Determiner.
Yes, careful there. This can work as a demonstrative pronoun when you don't have a noun. Remember that a pronoun does not modify a noun. A pronoun replaces a noun. So if you have a noun, you cannot just have a pronoun there.
Okay.
Okay? So again, the same word can behave in different ways depending on the context. If I tell you, this is mine, this is mine, this is a demonstrative pronoun. But if I say this phone, okay,
Yes.
then it's an adjective. Yes? Or, sorry, a demonstrative adjective, yes. So, again, you're not sure what is the easy word?
Determiner.
Determiner. Okay. And then this is the noun. Very good. So how do we analyze the verb phrase?
Main verb.
Than main verb.
Done main
This
verb.
is the main verb. This is the
Auxiliary for the passive.
excellent auxiliary for the passive. Very good. In this case, this is not the same was that is an empty carrier. Here it's not an empty carrier because here
No.
it's very good. It's the auxiliary for the passive. And the main verb, we said that it's a transitive verb. Okay?
Mhm.
Transitive verb of complete predication. Fantastic. And what is at home?
AA of place.
Yes.
Very good. Can I say this exercise was done?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is not compulsory. This is not obligatory. This is optional. That's why I say that it's an adverbial adjunct, not
Place.
complement, adjunct. Remember that adjuncts are optional, of place. And what type of structure is it?
Prepositional phrase.
Prepositional phrase. Ah, I had forgotten about this one, that today when we talked about prepositional phrase. Why is it a prepositional phrase? Because it starts with a preposition. Okay, it starts with a preposition, so the head is a preposition. And what is home?
No.
Complement of the preposition.
Fantastic, because we said that what follows the preposition is the complement to that preposition. In this case, the complement to the preposition is what kind of word?
A noun.
A
A
noun.
noun. Okay? So, give me a second that I don't want to forget. I always forget. I don't know, is Paula still here?
Yes,
Ah, great. Can you save the chat?
yes, I have already.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. She has been so helpful, really. Okay, well, I see that my feeling, I know that there are a lot of people who are in the class and are silent. I have like 5 or 6 who participate and the rest are silent. I assume, I hope that I assume correctly, that you understand and that you are doing things well, okay? If you still have doubt, practice a lot. Do the same sentences again, yes, to make sure, because the ones that you have for next week are already a little more complicated. And in 2 weeks, the homework I'm going to give you next week for the following, we are going to start with more complex sentences, okay? So this has to be clear, okay?
Okay.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Yes, have a wonderful week. And if you have any doubts, send me a message. Okay?
Okay, Miss.
Thank you,
Thank
Miss.
you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.